over the past few years, I've learned so much from different angles about money, right? But the Bible is one of the places where I know that I've gotten some of the biggest money lessons. So recently I was sitting with my friend Fortune and we just went talking about how adulting can be. You're talking bills, you're talking saving, and sometimes just feeling behind. And she looked at me and she said, "You've read the Bible, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She said, "There's so much money wisdom in there, but not just verses. Look at the people." And that changed it for me, because I know a lot of Bible verses that talks about money, that we read out about money, but I don't think I ever looked at Bible characters from that perspective. The Bible isn't just full of parables and prophecies. It's packed with real life characters who made money moves. Some wise, some messy, but all of them you can actually relate to. So if you're not a Christian, I still encourage you to listen to this, because whatever faith you believe in, this might just be something that will help you pull out financial lessons from whatever faith that you believe in. So today I want to tell you 7 stories. Yes, not sermons, stories, just real Bible characters who taught me powerful financial lessons, especially as an immigrant, as a woman, as a mom, and someone trying to build wealth on purpose. So the first story, first character, Joseph. How to plan for a crisis before it hits. You know what I love about Joseph? He wasn't just a dreamer. I know a lot of us keep talking about Joseph as Joseph the dreamer, the guy with a coat of many colors, the guy that was sold into slavery and all that. He wasn't just all that. He was also a planner. Joseph was a manager. And every time that resources came to his hands, Joseph took care of it. So when Pharaoh had that wild dream about cows and grains, if you haven't read it, Google it. Joseph didn't interpret it and just go chill. No, he didn't do that. He said, a famine is coming. No, we've got 7 good years. Let's save 20% of everything. That's how Egypt became the world's savings account. While other nations were starving, they were exporting grain. When I first moved to Canada, that story helped me understand why emergency funds are sacred. Because life will always bring famine seasons. That's just normal. Life will life. But if you've saved when things were good, you'll survive and even thrive when things go left. I think this is my left. The second person, this is a woman that we've debated her story from many angles. So the widow of Zarephath is another woman that inspires me in the Bible. She taught me faith when the numbers don't add up. Now imagine this, you're a single mom, you've got one last handful of flour. You're about to cook your final meal for you and your son. And some man of God, some pastor shows up or some prophet shows up and says, feed me first. Like, in today's world, she'll probably be on social media posting, see how this person did this and all that, and everybody will be cursing the pastor out. But guess what? She actually did it. She made that last meal and gave it to him. And somehow her jar never ran dry. Go read that story. There's so many angles, whether it's relationship building because the prophet had told her to go get empty jars from her neighbors. If she didn't have the great relationships too, that's another thing. She wouldn't have been able to build wealth. So if you're doing a business or whatever, building great relationships is everything. That story taught me something about faith-led risk. Not everything in finance is about math. I can sit here and tell you everything, invest this, invest that, but we've seen stocks that they have sworn, all the economists have said this is the way it will go, and those stocks tanked. And there are stocks that people didn't expect for one reason or the other, those stocks thrive. So there's a bit of luck, if you call it luck. I call it faith. Sometimes your breakthrough might just be on the other side of obedience. Someone says, do this. It might not be a pastor, it might not be a prophet, but say, do this, start a YouTube channel. Your breakthrough might just be there. You just need to start. You just need to obey. I've had moments where I gave when I should have saved. And yet, God sustained me in ways that spreadsheets cannot explain. That's just the truth. The third character in the Bible is Abraham. I call him the father of generational wealth. He taught me, think beyond you. Abraham didn't just hustle for himself. That man was thinking long game. God told him that through you, all nations will be blessed. And Abraham lived like it. He passed down not just livestock and land, but a legacy of faith, values, and divine favor. So stick with me. I know I'm sounding very pastorish on this episode, but just stick with me and hear me out. When I think about generational wealth, I think about Abraham. We know rich people that after they died, their wealth just disappeared. Their children squandered it, because the truth about wealth is that wealth is not just about money. It's about values. It's about habits and the access that you leave behind. Now, when I make money decisions, I ask myself, will it just benefit me? Will this benefit just me? Right? Will it bless my children's children too? What am I teaching my children by making this decision about money? Right? Do I carry them along? It's not just about money, values, everything. I tell my kids every day, be kind. I tell them about money. So you have to pass that to your children if you want your wealth to be generational. Another favorite of mine is the Proverbs 31 woman, the original CEO mom. Can we give it up for the Proverbs 31 woman? Like, this is how the Bible describes her. It says she wakes up early. She runs a business. She invests in land. She provides for her household. She still finds time to dress well and encourage her family. She's not a side character. She's not a side. She's a force. So what I love about her is that she didn't just work hard. Like, she worked smart. She had multiple streams of income, real estate, trading, dignity, and discipline. I keep her in mind every time I feel guilty for being ambitious and driven, because she proves that you can be godly, you can be a wife, and you can still be financially savvy. Number 5. This one helps me to reflect and stay humble. Not that I was proud though, but the rich fool in the Bible, the man who forgot people. This one hits different in today's world where we're all about self. And I think it's kind of something that we all should start looking at. We should all be considering. This guy had a booming business. So much harvest that he didn't have space for it. What did he do? Tear down his barns to build bigger ones. So he never for once thought, who can I bless with this overflow? Like, how do I pass this on? How do I give back? Yes, giving back. And guess what? I think very rarely did God call people fools in the Bible, but he was called a fool. God actually called him a fool. Because really, what's the point of wealth if it dies with you? If it doesn't impact anyone, if your barns are so full but your neighbors are hungry? That story is a gut check. Am I building bigger barns or am I creating deeper impact? Sister Ruth. I love Ruth. Ruth lost her husband. Ruth she left her home. She followed Naomi. She humbled herself and she started gleaning in a field, not knowing that field belonged to Boaz. Imagine working in a field that belonged to Elon Musk. Basically, she didn't pray and wait. She worked and positioned herself. And I don't have any problem with praying. I pray and I wait. But again, just like Ruth, work and position yourself. A lot of us who are from African descent, we have one religion or the other. For good or bad, those religions, they teach us to pray, but they also keep us very humble. I'm not saying you should be proud. I'm saying that you should have courage. Be courageous. Go out and position yourself well. You'll be surprised. Maybe somebody has told you to do something. Like I said before, start a YouTube channel, talk about something that you know, and you're second guessing yourself. You're wrong. Even if you've gone through something really terrible, maybe you lost a spouse or a parent, or you've gone through divorce, or you lost something very important, you've lost your job, still show up. There are mornings, I remember when the last job I held in Nigeria, I used to present to the board of directors every quarter. And this particular presentation, I was not up for it that morning. I'd cried my eyes out because I had a particular personal issue I was dealing with at the time. But guess what? I went to that board meeting in my heels and in my hair, looking all fly. And you know what? I showed up and I showed out. And after the meeting, after my presentation, there was a round of applause. That lesson sank into me that day. Like, no matter how you feel, show up for yourself. Show up for you. Because sometimes wealth comes from showing up, from staying consistent, and from aligning with the right people. And that's exactly what Ruth did. She aligned with her mother-in-law. She aligned with Boaz. And from there, we know the rest of the story. Ruth taught me never to underestimate the power of being in the right place, even when you're in pain. Okay, 7, another favorite character of mine. I'm very sure that if I lived in Solomon's time, I'll be one of his wives. Anyway, Solomon is known for loving many women, for marrying many women and having many concubines. But one thing that we know Solomon, that he was the wisest man that ever lived. Why? What Solomon did is that he chased wisdom first and wealth followed. Ask yourself, if you could ask God for one thing, what would it be? I just some of you thinking you want to win lottery of $10 million. Trust me, it has crossed my mind like that before. But guess what Solomon did? Solomon asked for wisdom, not riches, not fame, just wisdom. And because of that, what did God do? God gave him everything else. He gave him all the rest, including all the many wives. So when I started learning about money, investing, budgeting, mortgages, like every aspect of money that I have learned, it wasn't just to earn money. It wasn't just to earn more. It was to build what? Wisdom. It was to build my knowledge base from which I will make wise decisions. That's what I saw with Solomon. These stories, they're not just Sunday school material. They're not. And like I said, if you're not a Christian and you listen to this point in the channel, I'm sure that if you look at your faith, you'll find your own characters or your own stories that would inspire you financially. I've realized something. God doesn't just want us to be spiritual. He wants us to be good stewards. So let me ask you, which of these stories hits home for you? Which one felt like, that's where I am right now? So tell me, I want you to go to the comment section and tell me in the comments and share this with someone who's trying to make faith and finances work. And subscribe, because this channel is all about building wealth that actually matters. Until next time, walk in wisdom, live in purpose, and handle your coins with care.